Suzanne Collins is a contemporary American author. She gained worldwide recognition through The Hunger Games, a series that captured readers because of its exciting plot and deeper themes such as survival, power, and resistance. Suzanne Collins is one of the most well-known contemporary American authors. The Hunger Games became a worldwide phenomenon because of its thrilling plot and its themes of survival, power, and resistance. Aside from that, she also wrote The Underland Chronicles, which is a fantasy series for younger readers, showing her versatility as a writer. Her works highlight not just adventure, but also important social and political issues that connect with readers of all ages. Suzanne Collins' success demonstrates how literature can shape society and influence perspectives. The Hunger Games, for example, does not only provide thrilling adventures but also raises questions about government control, inequality, and the human instinct for survival. These themes mirror real-world issues, which is why the story resonates with people across different cultures and generations. Meanwhile, The Underland Chronicles reflects her ability to adapt her storytelling to a younger audience, proving that she is not limited to one style or theme. This versatility is what makes her an outstanding writer. Her works remind us that books are powerful tools for both imagination and reflection. They encourage readers to think critically about society, leadership, and justice while also enjoying an engaging story. This balance between entertainment and awareness is what sets Suzanne Collins apart from many other writers of her time.
Collins recalled that the Hunger Games trilogy was born while she was watching television late one night. Flipping through the channels, Collins was suddenly struck by the lack of distinction between reality TV and coverage of the Iraq War. Collins got the idea for the Hunger Games one night while watching TV. She noticed that reality shows and war news look very similar. This moment inspired her to create a story where entertainment and real-life violence are connected. She wanted to show how dangerous it can be when people treat serious events, like war and suffering, as if they were just games to watch. In the Hunger Games, the people in the capital enjoy watching children fight for survival, just like an exciting show, without caring about the pain it causes. Collins used this idea to make readers think about the power of media and how it shapes the way we see the world. Sometimes television and social media can make us numb to see violence because we see it too often, like almost entertainment. Her story is a reminder to never lose empathy and to always remember that behind every image of war or suffering, there are real human lives. For Collins, the Hunger Games and her other books touch on the very subjects, necessary and unnecessary wars, that her own father often discussed with her. So Collins' books, including The Hunger Games, talk about both necessary wars and unnecessary wars. This idea came from the lesson she learned from her father. Her father often talked to her about war and its effect. He taught her that some wars are needed to protect people, but many wars only bring pain, distraction, and blues. This lesson helped Collins understand that war is not only about soldiers and leaders but also about the suffering of families, children, and ordinary people. Collins used these lessons in her writing to show the heavy cost of conflict. In The Hunger Games, the battles represent how innocent people, especially the young, are caught in violence they did not choose. By adding these themes, she encourages readers to think about peace, to question if war is really needed, and to understand that the best goal is always to protect life and avoid destruction.
Now that we've learned the background, let's move on to the story itself. Picture a time when America was still untamed, and every step in the forest could mean danger. Imagine being caught between war, survival, and loyalty. If you were in that situation, how far would you go to protect the people you love? Let's discover the answer together in The Last of the Mohicans. The year was 1757, and the land of America was torn by the French and Indian War. Amidst the chaos of soldiers, alliances, and wilderness, two young women, Cora and Alice Monroe, set out to find their father, Colonel Monroe, who commanded Fort William Henry. With them was Major Duncan Hayward, a loyal officer, and Magua, a native guide whose heart burned with hidden hatred. At first, the forest seemed calm, but danger lurked in the silence. And it was then they met three figures who would change their journey forever. Hawkeye, a rugged frontiersman skilled with a rifle. Chingachgook, a wise and a noble Mohican chief. And Uncas, his brave and spirited son. From the moment their paths crossed, Hawkeye and the Mohicans stood as protectors. They saw the innocence of Alice and the strength of Cora and the responsibility Duncan carried. Yet even as trust grew, treachery revealed itself. For Magua, though he walked with them as a guide, carried vengeance in his soul. One night, when the shadows of the trees seemed to whisper with danger, Magua's voice rose with passion. The wigwam of the Huron is empty. The heart of Magua is hungry. The dark-haired maiden shall be his. Cora's face did not falter. Her voice, calm but resolute, cut through the silence. I would sooner meet death than be the wife of Magua. Rage filled Magua's eyes, and from that moment, the wilderness became a battleground of pursuit and escape. Time and again, the group fought through ambushes and betrayals. Gunfire thundered through the trees. Arrows pierced the night. Yet at every turn, Hawkeye's sharp eye, Chingachgook's wisdom, and Uncas's courage kept hope alive. Through these trials, bonds were formed that went beyond race or blood. Hawkeye, though white, stood shoulder to shoulder with the Mohicans, calling them brothers. Alice clung to her sister with fear, while Cora's bravery shone like fire, her spirit unbroken by threats of death. But fate is cruel in times of war. In the final clash, when hope seemed near, tragedy struck with merciless force. Uncas, the last son of the Mohicans, fell in battle. His lifeblood staining the earth he fought to defend. Beside him, Cora, noble and unyielding to the end, was struck down by Magua's vengeance. In the silence that followed, grief hung heavy in the air. Chingachgook, now the last of his people, lifted his voice in sorrow. His words echoed with the weight of a vanishing race. The pale faces are masters of the earth, and the time of the red men has not yet come again. Hawkeye, standing by his fallen brother, laid his hand on Chingachgook's shoulder. His voice trembled with loyalty and love. Uncas was the flower of the forest, the pride of his people. He shall not be forgotten while Hawkeye lives. The forest stood silent, as though mourning with them. Death had claimed the brave, yet dignity remained. In their sorrow was also a quiet strength, an understanding that courage, loyalty, and love endure even when life does not. And so ended the tale, a story of betrayal and loyalty, of love and loss, of cultures clashing and hearts uniting. A story where the bloodline of the Mohicans faded, but their spirit, like the wilderness, would live on forever.